Hey guys, Jason here. Welcome to Timber Falls, home for CNC creators like you. In today's video, we're going to go over the top 5 ways to increase your carving speed. Number 5, area selection. Okay, I just imported this Louisiana flag. In this example, my material was 17 by 32, but my flag is a lot smaller. If we use the whole relief option, we're going to end up carving all of this waste material. And so to save time, usually the go-to is either to do automatic boundary or selected vector. Now, using selected vector is probably the best way to reduce time because you're only going to be carving from your selected vector inwards. We would need a vector to carve around this flag. If I go up to vector and create, go to my relief boundary tool and just click create boundary. That's going to create a boundary around our flag, and then we can simply select this in our toolpath as our selected vector, and we could carve everything from the flag inwards. Now, if I select a finishing bit and I also select a roughing bit, when I go to my tool clearance strategy, I only get the Rasta Classic. If you use whole relief, you get some more options. You get raster X and Y, spiral, and spiral in the box. Now, the issue with this is that in order to use these more advanced strategies, you have to use the whole relief, which is going to carve all of this waste material. And that really takes a long time. So the trick to making this a lot shorter is to go up here to our model, and we're going to use the crop feature. And what this is going to do is it's going to crop our material to the outside edges of our vector. Now we can use the whole relief, and we're going to just be carving a little bit of waste material on the outside. And we can use some of these more advanced strategies like X and Y, spiral, or spiral in the box classic. One thing to note is that the start position or origin is this original 17 by 32. So on the machine, you're going to be using the original 7 by 32 position. The best way to fix that is to move your origin to the center of the material and use the center of your material as your start point. You have to go back to the uncropped version where you're still showing this whole piece of material. Then you can go up here to model and set position. We're going to use a center point. And then that's going to move our position to the center of our model. And then we can go out to our material, find the center of our material, and use that as our starting point. Tip number 4 is optimizing your tool strategies. Earlier when I did the crop trick and I was able to use whole relief, we were given a bunch of other strategies. The X and Y, spiral, and spiral in a box. The Raster Classic, basically the bit just goes back and forth and advances across the model until it's done. The X and Y goes both directions. So it goes back and forth in one direction, and then it comes and redoes the model back and forth in the other direction. The Spiral Classic basically starts in the middle, and it just works its way outwards. The great thing about spiral is that your bit is never running with the grain of the wood, and so this usually produces a really nice finish. The downside to spiral is that when the spiral reaches the edges of the model, basically it stops. To fix this, they introduced spiral in a box. Spiral in a box adds movements once it gets to this top point, just moves over and starts cutting the corners. Now do note that spiral in a box takes longer than the Raster Classic. Raster Classic is by far the fastest toolpath strategy. In previous videos, I have suggested that using a 45-degree angle on your Raster toolpath keeps the bit against the grain of the wood and can help give you a better finish. However, do note that changing this angle actually adds a few seconds of cut time to the ends of the movement, whereas if you run a 0 or a 90 degree, while your cuts are running in one direction, this will be the fastest toolpath strategy available. There's really not much difference between the 0 angle and the 90 degree. It doesn't really matter whether you're going up and down or left to right. Generally, these times are going to be about the same. You may gain a few seconds by running the length of the project rather than the short distance across the project. But generally, the best thing to do is the direction that's going to give you the best finish, which is against the grain of the wood. Tip number 3, using the biggest bit for the job. In this example, we're using a compression bit and a 1/16 taper ball nose bit to do the finishing. And while this is the simplest way to create a 3D model and carve it out, it is not the fastest. The fastest way is to use the biggest bit possible to carve most of the details, and then use a smaller bit to carve the finer details. The way to do this is to deselect your finishing options and create your first toolpath with just your roughing bit. So this one I'm going to do selected vector because that's the fastest, where it's only going to carve from this vector inwards, and we're only going to use our roughing bit. So we're only going to rough this out. After we calculate this, if I run my simulation, this is going to rough out most of our material. And now we're ready to set up our finishing passes. So the next step is to create a second machine release. This time we're going to skip the roughing option and we're only going to pick a finishing bit. The best bits for 3D carvings are your taper ball nose bits. The biggest taper ball nose that I use for most of my 3D carvings is a 1/8 taper ball nose. So we're going to select that as our finishing bit. However, we only want the 1/8 taper ball nose to carve the flag, but not the pelican or the banner at the bottom. We're just going to use the 1/8 to just carve the flag. So to do this, we have to have vectors selected in order to designate the area in which we're going to carve. Now we're going to need a vector around our pelican and around our union in order to separate those from the flag. We're just going to use our create polyline tool. I'm just going to kind of trace around the pelican and give me an area that I want to carve. I could go in and be like real precise about this. And the more precise you are, the closer you get, the more effective this will be. And then we're going to draw one around this banner. Okay, and now all we have to do is select our outer vector, and then we're going to select these two inner vectors. And we're going to be carving this area or the flag with the 1/8 inch taper ball nose bit. I'm going to calculate that out, and you're going to see that it's going to skip over our pelican and our banner. Now we're going to create another toolpath, selected vector, and this time I'm going to use my 1/16 taper ball nose. And for this toolpath, we're going to use selected vector, and we're just going to pick the pelican and the union. Now when I simulate all these toolpaths, we need one more toolpath, a toolpath to cut the whole flag out. So we're going to do a profile toolpath. We'll just use a compression bit. Okay, and if we simulate all of our toolpaths, we get our carving. And this is a lot more efficient and gives you a much better finish. You could use the same technique to go in and get more detail. Like if I wanted to get more detail on the union, justice, and confidence, I could draw a vector around these and use a smaller 1/32 bit, go back over this lettering. Using this technique and using the best bit for the job will save you a lot of time and give you the best results. Tip number 2 is feed rate and step down. Now on your machine relief toolpath, if you look at the roughing options, we have the roughing allowance. The roughing allowance is how much material is being left over for the finishing pass to carve. Because you're only cutting a very small amount of material, these taper ball nose bits can run extremely fast. In softwoods, I will often run my 1/16 taper ball nose 180 to 200 inches a minute. I'll run the 1/8 inch taper ball nose at 240 to 260 inches a minute at a 1/4 inch deep. It's a good idea also to use a matching plunge rate of your feed rate so that your machine is moving in the Z-axis at the same speed as the X and Y. Now a taper ball nose bit has a very large cutting area. This large cutting area allows the bit to carve extremely deep. Now, if you look at your bit setup, sometimes the manufacturers will have these bits set up to have a very small step down. These bits can go at least a 1/4 inch deep. You can cut all the way up to the 1 inch cutting surface that runs the length of the bit, depending on the rigidity and strength of your machine. I generally use a 1/4 inch because usually this is larger than the allowance that you're leaving behind. Tip number 1. Our number 1 tip for saving time in your 3D carvings is to adjust your step over. Many times you will hear that people use somewhere between 6 and 10% step over in your 3D carvings. Many people use 8% because this is a sort of an average in the middle of that range. However, do know that the larger the bit, the more effect that step over has. As the bit steps over, it creates a very small scout or ridge in between the area where the bit does not carve because of its rounded bottom. The smaller the diameter of the bit, the smaller this ridge is. When you get down to the 1/16 and 1/32, it's barely visible by the naked eye. So you can increase your step over speed with these really small bits. If you think about it, 10% of a 1/16 bit is a lot smaller than 10% of a 1/8 inch bit. So as your bits get smaller, the scaling of the ridges that they create also gets smaller. So while I will sometimes run my 1/16 bit between 8 and 10%, I might run my 1/32 bit 10 to 12%. The difference in speed, for every percentage of step over, you increase the speed of the cut. The smaller the step over, the slower the cut's going to be. So this is a balance between the speed of the cut and the quality of the finish. By playing around with this step over number and increasing this slightly, you'll be able to work out what the best setting is to giving you the finish that you're looking for. Sometimes on some of these projects where it's pretty easy to sand, you can go with a lot bigger step over, and if it leaves a little bit of ridging, then you can just simply sand that out. If it's an extremely detailed project and you're not worried about the time, then you can get this really small and it will take forever, but it'll look amazing. And that's our top 5 tips for creating faster carvings. Guys, if you found this tutorial helpful, give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel and share this with someone. I'd like to give a big thanks to all of our Timber Falls Elite members. You guys keep the bit spinning and we really appreciate your support. If you're interested in becoming a Timber Falls Elite, check out the link below or our website at timberfalls.us. Thanks, guys.